If I ever showed up to a counter protest and the person holding the microphone giving a speech on the other side was none other than Dr. Angela Davis, I would pack it up so quick. I would summon a rift from the molten core of the earth to come up and swallow me whole. You would not hear from me for at least 90 business days. That shit is embarrassing. You are failing an open notes test. You don't have to wonder what would I have done during the civil rights movement, because one of the most prominent leaders of that time period is still alive, standing shoulder to shoulder with Palestine. And you're yapping your mouth at a counter protest while Angela Davis herself is giving a speech in solidarity with the student encampment. You don't have to wonder, what would you do? What side of this should I fall on? It's Angela Davis. Sheesh. If any activist is going to understand how education is so threatening to systems of power, it would be the woman whose manuscripts for her PhD were seized by the FBI, which is why she never got to receive the degree that she worked for.
Christopher Columbus in his journal said about the Indians, "They are so naive and so free with their possessions that no one who has not witnessed them would believe it. When you ask for something they have, they never say no. To the contrary, they offer to share with anyone." And he wrote that in his journal, mocking them. Because he came from a land full of the worst kinds of people. And so coming in contact with human beings that were so open to sharing and caring and loving was to be mocked. Horrible people. These people were horrible people. And we have a fucking holiday for Christopher Columbus. We have to start from scratch. There is no we have to pull out every little piece of history that the United States has taught us, grab it and pull it out by our ears and burn it. Burn it. These people were fucking horrible.
You occupy the Gaza Strip. Not since 2005, we withdrew. No, you redeployed your troops around the perimeter and then blockaded the Gaza Strip. That's still an occupation under INTLLAW. But they elected Hamas. You created Hamas. No! You empowered them, you funded them, and when they got too big, you bombed and starved them. Intermittent fasting, mind you. No, it's forced starvation. It's starvation plus. You can't forget the plus sign on that, I think. Oh my God, it's just a diet. It's a man-made famine. Why didn't they just try diplomacy? They did. Nonviolent civil resistance? They did. Why didn't they ask nicer? They did. Well, what happened to their reasonable elected government? Well, you assassinated them. No! Yeah, you assassinated them. No!
Hi, this message is for Kaya Bojorquez on Instagram with 543,000 followers, and if you're not Kaya, scroll away. Kaya, I saw your message where you said you're not a she, you're a black bearded man. And I wanted to sit down and have a personal convo with you. Because I noticed a lot of my friends and mutuals follow you and engage with your content. And I want them to know the exact kind of person that you are. I can tell you wake up every morning and spend a lot of time on your hair and makeup, and that's great. It shows you're beautiful. But while you're doing all of that and focusing on just your transition, I've been raising millions of dollars for our community. I've been building community spaces. I've been in the streets protesting, and behind the scenes and on screen, I've been organizing for Palestinians. I don't care if you think I'm a man. I don't care if you think I'm not trans enough, because I don't live my life for trans girls like you. You may be prettier than me, and you may pass more than me, and you may have transitioned much younger than I did. And I'm happy for you for all of those things. I want trans people to have access to those things. And truth be told, I know why you send messages like that to people like me, because we represent a part of yourself that you hate. Despite my dysphoria, I show up every day looking like this. In part because I want to focus on the work that I'm doing, and in part because I want other trans people to see that even if you don't have access to all of the things and the time and energy to put into your appearance, you deserve to take up space. So if you think I'm a man, then I'll be a man to you. But to every other trans person watching this, who is just trying to get by, who doesn't always have the energy to shave their face, or bind their chest, or stuff their bra, for every trans person that doesn't have access to surgery or hormones, I just want you to know I see you and I love you. And even more importantly, you're doing great.
Genders are like the Twin Towers.
There used to be 2 of them. And now that that's changed, a bunch of old angry white guys use that as an excuse to attack a bunch of people who are really unrelated to the first part.
Hey, what's your name? Oh, my name is Robbie. And, what's your gender identity? Oh, it's Robbie. And your pronouns? What do we refer to you by? You can just call me Robbie. Yeah, okay, and let me guess, your sexuality is Robbie. Yes. Yes, thank you.
What hints do they see, like, when they say you are feminine? What do they point out? I actually can't find one really feminine thing in your face. The thing about transphobes is that they rarely actually have a point, they're usually just trying to hurt you. I'm a trans man, but a lot of conservatives actually don't know the difference between trans men and trans women. I've had people argue that they can tell I was born a man because of my jawline, eyebrows, and other facial features like that, when in reality, I was assigned female at birth and transitioned to become a man. When I was a kid, I was frequently told by my classmates that I was too masculine because I grew facial hair even prior to taking testosterone, and I've always had a fairly square face. Now that I identify as a man, people will try to take those same features and claim they can tell I'm a woman from them. Aside from that, the other subsection of people I've seen who attest they can tell I was born a woman are just people who feel threatened because they're attracted to me. You might say, oh, that sounds a bit far-fetched, but genuinely the most frequent comments I get from people who try and point out my feminine facial features are people who say, you're such a pretty girl, or your lips are just so kissable. Like, slow your roll there, King. It's okay to think I'm cute. You don't have to be weird about it. Anyways, all of that to say that conservatives say all kinds of absurd things that don't bother me because I know better than to believe that they have a point. If you've made it this far, tell me what your favorite musical artist is and why, and have a great day.
Which side of my face is the black face paint or the Youthforia foundation? T, you can't tell. You know why? Tar in a bottle. This is jet black face paint, and this is the darkest shade of the Youthforia Date Night foundation. This is black face paint. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. A few months ago, I tried the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. This is what it looked like on me. I'm gonna apply some of the foundation on this side of my face so you guys can see. Let's just go ahead and try to blend this out, you guys. Enough. Who is that color? I'm gonna wipe this off and let me put the paint all over my face. I'm literally just going in with the face paint. We're gonna do some painting and let me just go ahead and blend it out with the brush. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. This is black face paint. Sometimes it's okay to say, hey, maybe my brand is not made for complexion. I'm gonna squeeze a pump of this on my forehead just right out the bottle so you guys can see that I'm literally not joking. We're gonna do a big blend of this, you guys. When we say that we want you guys to make shades for us, we don't mean to go to the lab and ask for minstrel show black. What we mean is to take the browns that you have made, create undertones, and do what you need to do in the lab so it's a darker shade of brown. This is the darkest shade, shade 600, and as you guys can see in the bottle, literally jet black. The shade right next to it, shade 590. This is what it looks like in the bottle. Here is shade 600. You guys, there could be like 10 more shades in between these two shades. In addition to that, when we go to the actual website and we look at the swatch, not only is the swatch online literally jet black, there's literally only 4 or 5 shades for people that actually have dark complexions. Not really for black people, for being honest. Not only in 2024 is this so disgusting and disrespectful, but this needs to be pulled off the shelves.
Honest question, genuine question. Why don't leftists care about masking? Why aren't supposed radical, socially conscious people, why aren't they masking? Like, we're in a full-on pandemic raging, disabling hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions. We care about liberation, but not for the disabled. I genuinely do not understand the dissonance. We claim to care about communal safety, but like not about community when it comes to a virus that's spreading and acts like HIV in a lot of ways. COVID, it's a damaging virus. It's truly a damaging virus. And the denial and the passivity of leftist people in masking, I can't grasp it, man. Like, our government has lied to us about everything, but they haven't withheld things about COVID. Like, COVID's the thing that we can trust them on. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. I just don't get it.